Today, let's talk about Cancer, the Zodiac's powerhouse. You know, that friend that always gets you, even when you don't say a word. That's Cancer energy, deep, intuitive, and always ready to make you feel as though you belong. But don't let their soft vibes fool you. Like their symbol, the crab, Cancers come with claws. They're fiercely protective, especially of the people and places that they love. Think of them as your emotional ride or die. They'll stick with you no matter what. And if you cross them, well, let's say they'll remember. Cancers are all about creating home. Not just a place, but a vibe. They are the ones turning that simple night into a memory, whether it's through their creativity, their care, or their ability to make everyone feel like they belong. It's no wonder that they are ruled by the moon, the ultimate symbol of emotional cycles, intuition, and constant evolution. Yes, they're emotional, but that is their superpower. Whether they are nurturing others or navigating their own highs and lows, Cancers remind us that we all feel deeply. It isn't a weakness. It's what makes us human. This is Cancer's energy. It's about care, connection, and the quiet strength that comes from living with your heart wide open. All right, let's talk about Cancer's personality. It's a sign that's all about emotional depth, intuition, and strong nurturing. Cancers are the one that you can count on when you need to someone to really feel what you're going through. They are sensitive, loyal, and have incredible ability to make people feel safe and cared for. But there is so much more than just being a caretaker of the zodiac. Cancers are like emotional sponges. They feel everything so deeply, on such a profound level. This is why they are so good at understanding others. You might not even say a word. A Cancer will already know what you're feeling. But here's the flip side. Because they feel so deeply, their emotions can sometimes be completely overwhelming for them. They may need time to retreat in their shell now and then to process and recharge. And that's okay. It's just the way that they navigate the world. If there is one word that sums up a Cancer, it is nurturing. These are the people who will check on you when you're sick, remember the little things about you, and make sure that you feel loved and supported. They love taking care of the people they care about, whether it's family, friends, or even co-workers. Cancers may seem soft, but they'll fight like a crab when their claws come out to defend the people that they love. When a Cancer is in your corner, they are really in your corner. They're a ride or die type who'll stick with you through thick and thin. Whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, or family ties, loyalty is a non-negotiable for them. But here's the thing. Because they give so much from themselves, they expect the same thing in return. If you betray their trust, it cuts deep. And while they might forgive, they will never, ever forget. Cancers have this uncanny ability to just know things. Their intuition is next level, and they often go on trust of their gut over their logic. And honestly, it usually works out for them. They are also super creative, whether it's through art, writing, or even coming up with innovative ideas. And that creativity isn't just about self-expression. It's also how they solve problems. They're the ones who can think of things out of the box and find solutions that no one else sees. All right, let's get real. Being a Cancer isn't all smooth sailing. As much as they're known for their nurturing and empathetic qualities, those same traits can sometimes work against them. Sensitivity is one of Cancer's greatest strengths, but it's also their Achilles heel. They feel absolutely everything so deeply, even the smallest criticisms or misunderstandings feel like personal attacks to them. This can lead them to overthinking situations or withdraw into their shells, which can make it hard for others to connect with them. Another big challenge for Cancers is setting boundaries. They are the natural caregivers, always ready to lend a helping hand or an ear to someone who is in need. But here's the catch. They often give so much of themselves that they forget to protect their own energy, whether it's in a relationship, family dynamics, or even at work. Cancers can find themselves drained if they're not very, very careful to protect their own energy. It's like they are so focused on taking care of everyone else, they forget to take care of themselves. Learning to say no without guilt and recognizing that self-care isn't selfish are transformative lessons for them. When Cancers find a balance between giving and receiving, they discover that they can still be caring, supportive people that they are, but in a way that doesn't make them feel absolutely drained and depleted. But let's not forget, Cancers are also highly resilient. For all that sensitivity, Cancers have an inner strength that is truly inspiring. They like the crab, soft on the inside, tough on the outside, and always finding ways to protect what matters most. When Cancers embrace their own needs and learn to stand firm, they become truly unstoppable. At their core, Cancers just want to create meaningful connections. They're the people who remind you that you matter, and they'll stand by you no matter what. They bring this warmth and emotional depth to everything that they do, whether it's in their relationships, their work, or in their own passions. So if you have a Cancer in your life, or if you are a Cancer yourself, remember that their biggest strength is their heart. Cancerians remind us all how important it is to care and feel, and of course create spaces where people truly feel at home and vulnerable at heart, but they don't let anyone inside of them. They often use their metaphorical shell to guard them against being hurt or overwhelmed by the world around them. Crabs are also known for their sideway movement, which reflects how Cancers navigate life. They really approach situations head on, preferring to move cautiously, considering all their angles before taking action. This careful approach stems from their desire to avoid unnecessary conflict and, of course, to protect their emotional security. Another key feature of the crab is, of course, home. Crabs carry their shelter with them wherever they go. Much like Cancers, they create a sense of home within themselves. They are incredibly family orientated and put a lot of energy into making their surroundings comfortable and safe, whether it's for themselves or for their loved ones. The crab's claws are another powerful symbol. While Cancers are nurturing, gentle by nature, they also know how to hold on tightly when something or someone matters to them. This persistence can be a strength, but it can also manifest as difficulty of letting go to the past or relationships that no longer serve them. Ultimately, the crab embodies Cancer's balance between vulnerability and strength. It reminds us of their resilience, their ability to protect their emotional core, and their unwavering commitment to protect the people and places that they hold dear. The crab isn't just a symbol, it's a perfect metaphor for the complexity and depth of a Cancer's personality. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and honestly, it is the most perfect fit. Just like the moon controls the tides, it's also in charge of Cancer's emotional waves. The moon is all about feelings, intuitions, and that deep inner world we do not always show to the world. They feel things so deeply, and that's what makes them the nurturers of the zodiac. The moon is also tied to the cycles, which is why Cancer's energy can feel a bit, well, it can feel a little bit up and down. One day they're all in and nurturing and connecting, and the next they might need to retreat into their shell and just recharge. It's like the moon phases. Sometimes it's and shining, and sometimes it needs a little bit of a break. This rhythm is all part of what makes Cancer so adaptable, but it also means that they really value their alone time. And when life gets a little bit overwhelming, they feel like retreating. What's amazing about the moon is its connection to care and protection. Think of it as the mom of the zodiac. Cancers have that same instinct. They know how to make people feel safe and loved, whether it's through a heartfelt conversation, a warm meal, or just being there when you need them most. They are the ultimate caregivers of the zodiac, always making sure everyone is doing okay. But let's get real. The moon also has a shadow side too, and so does the Cancer. All that emotional depth can make them a little bit moody or overly clingy at times. And if they feel threatened, they can put up those crab claws to protect themselves, even if it means pushing people away. At the end of the day, the moon gives Cancer their emotional superpower. It's what makes them intuitive, so caring, and so good at creating those spaces where people feel safe and cared for. Let's speak about the essential dignities of Cancer. Essential dignities are a way astrologers measure how comfortable or powerful a planet is in its specific zodiac sign. Think of it as whether a planet feels at home, on vacation, or out of its element. Each planet has a natural way of expressing itself, and certain signs either amplify or restrict this energy. There are four essential dignities: domicile, which is rulership, exaltation, detriment, and fall. And they help us understand how effectively a planet can do its job in a given sign. For example, a planet in its domicile, it's like being at home and it's comfortable. It's efficient and fully in its element. The moon in Cancer is a great example of this. Cancer is the moon's domicile, so its natural theme of emotion, intuition, and nurturing energy will shine here. Someone with this placement might have a strong connection to their emotions and an innate ability to care for others. On the other hand, a planet in detriment feels out of place, like it's in unfamiliar territory. Saturn in Cancer is in its detriment because Saturn thrives on structure and discipline and logic, while Cancer is all about emotion and being intuitive. This can create tension as Saturn's richest nature doesn't blend easily for Cancer's flowing, protective energy. A person with this placement might struggle to balance their emotional needs with responsibilities and feel overly burdened with family expectations. Exaltation and fall work sort of the same, but they're less extreme. Exaltation is like being honored like a guest in a house. It's a great placement for a planet, even if it's not their domicile or home. For instance, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, enhancing its generosity for emotional wisdom. Meanwhile, a planet in fall is like being in a house where it doesn't really feel valued. Its energy is more subdued. Understanding dignities of a planet gives us insights to how planets express themselves, adding nuance to the astrological chart and any reading that an astrologer has to give to you. Let's start with the moon because it rules Cancer and it's at domicile in Cancer. And honestly, this is where the moon feels most at home. Just think about it. The moon is all about emotions, intuition, and comfort. And Cancer is the zodiac's emotional nurturer. It's the perfect match. When the moon is in Cancer, people with this placement are natural caregivers. They are the ones who just simply know what you need, whether it's a warm meal, a comforting hug, or simply just a safe space just to let it all out. For example, someone with the moon in Cancer might be the type to make their home feel like a sanctuary where everyone feels welcomed and cared for. But here's the thing, this emotional depth also makes them extremely vulnerable. They feel everything so intensely. When they get hurt, they retreat just like the crab, hiding in its shell. It's not a bad thing. It's their way of protecting their soft and sensitive heart from this harsh world. Now let's talk about Saturn in Cancer. Saturn is the planet that rules boundaries. It doesn't exactly vibe with Cancer's emotional, go with the flow nature. So we say Saturn is in detriment here. It's like it's working in unfamiliar territory. For example, someone with Saturn in Cancer might feel torn between their responsibilities and their emotional needs. Imagine someone who takes on way too much for their family, to the point where they feel completely and utterly drained. It's a tough placement because they want to care for everyone, but they might not know where to set their boundaries. The good news is Saturn can teach resilience. Over time, these people learn how to balance their responsibilities with their own personal emotions. It's like they figure out how to build emotional boundaries that protect their energy while still being there for others. All right, let's chat about Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is the planet of growth and abundance and good vibes, and it's considered exalted in the sign of Cancer, which basically mean it absolutely thrives being here. Cancer's nurturing energy lets Jupiter's generosity and optimism shine. Picture this, someone with Jupiter in Cancer might be the ultimate host. They're the type of person who throws dinner parties that everyone feels at home, loved, and cared for. Maybe they're the teacher who makes every student feel like they are seen and supported. Their emotional wisdom and generosity make them a beacon for light and people around them. But with anything in life, there's a flip side. They can sometimes feel completely overextended. They want to give so much they forget to take care of their own needs. It's a beautiful placement, but they need to watch out for extreme burnout. On the other extreme, there is Mars in Cancer, which is at 4. Mars is the planet of action and drive and passion. So let's just say it's not super comfortable in the placement of Cancer. This is what we can call 4. Mars has to work a little bit harder to express itself in Cancer. And here how it might play out. Instead of bold, direct action that Mars usually has, Mars in Cancer tends to move in an emotional, roundabout way. For example, someone with their Mars in Cancer might avoid confrontation, opting for a more subtle or even passive aggressive stance. It can be frustrating for them because their emotions sometimes overshadow their ability to act decisively. But of course, with life, everything has an upside. And Mars in Cancer has an incredible protective energy. These people will go to war with the ones that they love. Think of a friend who always have your back, or a parent who fights tooth and nail for their child. They may not be the loudest or most direct, but their passions run deep, especially when it comes to the ones that they love. So there you have it. The moon rules Cancer and absolutely shines here, while Saturn and Jupiter and Mars bring their own unique twists. These planetary placements show us just how layered and complex the emotional richness of Cancer really is. Whether it's about caring for others, learning to set boundaries, or channeling passion into protection, Cancer's energy reminds us of the power of love, intuition, an ultimate connection. All right, let's explore their modality and element. These are two factors that define their cosmic essence. Firstly, let's talk about their modality. Cancer belongs to the cardinal modality. Now, you may ask, what does that mean? Cardinal signs are the initiators of the zodiac. They are the natural born leaders, always ready to take the first step or to create something completely new. Cardinal signs kick off the seasons, and in Cancer's case, it signals the start of summer in the northern hemisphere and the start of winter in the southern hemisphere. Think of Cancer as the one who sets the emotional tone, especially in the family or within personal relationships. They're the ones who gather everyone down for a heartfelt conversation or initiate plans to create a safe and secure environment. Cancers lead with their heart, guided by their deep and unwavering intuition. All right, so let's dive into Cancer's element, which is water. Water is all about emotions, intuition, and adaptability. It's the realm of feelings, imagination, and deep connections. Water signs often are the nurturers of the zodiac, the empaths, and the big feelers, and Cancer embodies all of these qualities to the fullest. They can sense what others are feeling before a word is spoken, making them incredible caregivers and friends. However, water can also run deep, and Cancer's emotion can sometimes feel like the ocean, vast and profound and occasionally overwhelming. Now, what happens when we combine Cancer's cardinal modality with a water element? It creates someone who is both a sensitive nurturer and a proactive protector. Cancers are not just reactive, they act on their emotions and with purpose. If they sense a need, they'll lead the charge to meet it. For example, if a friend is in distress, Cancer won't just offer a shoulder to cry on. They'll take steps to help, like cooking a comfortable meal or finding solutions to ease a person's pain. This particular combination also gives Cancer their well-known protective nature, whether it's guarding loved ones or shielding their own vulnerable heart. Cancer uses their emotional intelligence to create boundaries that feel safe and secure. All right, let's start discussing the fun stuff, and we're going to start discussing what Cancer feels like through all of the different zodiac houses. Just a reminder that if you have any of these placements, please let me know in the comments how it's going for you and how this energy manifests in your life. All right, let's start off with Cancer in the first house. This is all about how you show up in the world, your personality, your vibe, and the way that people see you. With Cancer here, emotions can take center stage. People with this placement often come across as warm, caring, and deeply intuitive. They lead with their hearts, and that is something that you can definitely feel the second that you meet them. Cancer in the first house means that you feel your way through life. Decisions, those are based on your gut instincts and emotions, not rigid or anything that is logical. These people have the incredible ability to make people feel secure and cared for. It's like they naturally create a protective bubble for those that they love, whether it's through friendship, family, or even work. They are the ones and the people that go the extra way when it comes to support. Now, let's talk about the flip side. This emotional depth can make them pretty sensitive. If they feel hurt or misunderstood, they'll literally pull back into their shell like a crab. And that's okay. It's a way of them recharging. But sometimes that retreat can become across as being moody or even distant. And let's not forget how they physically show up. Cancer's people often have a soft and approachable vibe. Maybe their rounded features or gentle energy. They're all about comfort, even in the way that they dress. At their core, Cancer in the first house is all about their authenticity. They're not afraid to show their emotional side, and that's what makes them so relatable and approachable. They are literally the kind of people who make you feel like you're home, no matter where you are. If you got this placement, let me know below how this energy plays up in your life. So now we've got Cancer in the second house, and this is all about money, values, and self-worth. So with Cancer here, emotions are tightly linked to the sign and tightly linked to the idea of security. So these are not the type of people that generally go out looking to make quick money. They are looking for financial security and to feel emotionally grounded. People with this placement tend to have a sentimental connection with all of the stuff that they own. We're talking about family heirlooms, old photos, or even that old blanket from childhood. They hold on to these things because they're not only objects, they are memories. When it comes to money, they're usually about creating a cozy and secure environment. You often find them investing in things like a beautiful home or supporting their loved ones financially. On the career side, they thrive in jobs that let them nurture or tap into their intuition. Think healthcare, teaching, counseling, anything that combines compassion with a little bit of emotional insight, they are perfect at. But here's the catch. Cancer in the second can sometimes lead to emotional spending. When they're stressed or insecure, they may splurge on things that make them feel better in the moment. So the big lesson here is separating their self-worth from their financial situation. Once they realize their value isn't tied to their bank balance, they can use their emotional connection and to create real lasting stability that way. If you have this placement, Cancer in the second, let me know in the comments below if you resonate this and how this plays out in your life. All right, let's talk about Cancer in the third, which is all about how you communicate, learn, and connect with the world around you. With Cancer here, words aren't just words, they are literally feelings. People with this placement speak directly from the heart, and their conversations tend to have deep and meaningful tone. Small talk is just not their thing. These people are often the emotional glue in their relationships with their siblings, neighbors, or even their local communities. They naturally step into a caregiving role, offering support, advice, or just a safe space just to have their loved ones share their opinions. They might find themselves meditating on conflict or being the peacemaker in their family dynamics. When it comes to learning, which is also connected to the third house, they feel best when they emotionally are connected to a subject. If it's dry or boring, they're literally out the window. But if it sparks their imagination or resonates on an emotional or deeper level, they are all in. A lot of people with Cancer in the third house have a knack for storytelling or creative writing because they can channel their emotions into their writing and their words so beautifully. That said, this placement isn't without its challenges. They often shy away from difficult conversations, especially if they're afraid of confrontations. And let's be honest, they might overthink past interactions or replay awkward moments in their head, wondering if they said the wrong thing, if they looked at the person the wrong way, anything like that. But at their best, Cancer in the third house people are all about the heartfelt communications, and they can truly make a difference in people's lives. They remind us that words aren't just about information, they are truly about connection. If you have Cancer in the third house, or perhaps know of someone with Cancer in the third house, let me know below how this energy plays out for you or that person. And yeah, let's chat in the comments. Okay, so let's dive into Cancer in the fourth house, which is honestly one of the most natural placements for the sign. The fourth house rules home, family, and roots, and your emotional foundation. Pretty much everything Cancer really vibes with. When Cancer is here, home isn't just a place, it's a feeling. It's where you feel safe, nurtured, and completely yourself. People with Cancer in the fourth house often feel a deep connection to their family. Family traditions, heirlooms, or even old recipes hold a lot of emotional weight for them. They might feel a strong need to protect their loved ones, acting as the emotional anchor for their household. But if their early family life wasn't nurturing, they're likely to spend a lot of energy later in life creating a safe, loving home they didn't have. This placement also makes someone a natural homebody. They love cozy spaces filled with personal touches. Think old blankets, warm lighting, and meaningful photos. Their home isn't just a place to live, it's a sanctuary where they can recharge and process life's ups and downs. But here's the thing. Cancer in the fourth house can also make them a little too attached to the past. Whether it's holding on to old emotions, physical objects, they can all struggle with letting go. So that's almost like their crab-like grip in action. So ultimately, Cancer in the fourth house is all about building emotional foundation that feels solid and secure. When they embrace their need for comfort and connection, they can become the heart of the family and create a space where everyone feels truly at home. If you have Cancer in the fourth or know of anyone with Cancer in the fourth, comment below and let me know how this energy plays out. Up next is Cancer in the fifth house, and this one is all about self-expression, creativity, romance, and even kids. With Cancer here, emotions are the fuel for creativity. People with this placement don't just create, they pour their heart and soul into whatever they do. Whether it's writing, painting, or even designing a space that they can create from, it's deeply flowing and deeply emotional. Art for them is a way to process emotions and to share their inner world with others. Their creativity has this raw emotional authenticity that makes it feel personal and absolutely relatable. They crave that deep, meaningful bond and where they can feel safe and truly loved. They're also incredibly nurturing in relationships, often putting their partner's needs before their own, which can sometimes backfire if they don't have boundaries. If children are part of the picture, they're likely to take a very protective and loving approach to parenting. They want their children to feel as emotionally supported as possible, sometimes going even above and beyond to create a safe and nurturing space for them. So at its core, Cancer in the fifth house people are here to channel their emotions into joy and bliss, whether it's through art, love, or raising a family. They remind us that creativity and connection are emotional experiences, and when you lead with the heart, the results will follow. Well, that's it for Cancer in the fifth. If you have this placement or know somebody that had this placement, write below in the comments and let me know how this energy plays out for you. Okay, so let's talk about Cancer in the sixth house, which is all about work, routines, and health. With Cancer here, emotions and care become central to their daily lives. These people are often the kind of people to show up for others and work at home, always ready to lend a hand and offer support. In career, they are drawn to roles where they can nurture and help others. Think healthcare, teaching, counseling, or even working with animals. They thrive in environments where they can use their intuition and empathy to make a real difference. And even if they're in a less nurturing field, they can still be the ones checking on the co-workers, bringing snacks, or just making sure that everyone is included. Their general approach to routine and self-care is also emotional. They're the type who needs their daily rituals to feel grounded, whether it's a morning coffee in their favorite mug or winding down in a warm bath. They are very in tune with their body and their emotions. So if someone feels a little bit off, they'll notice it right away. Cancer in the sixth house can sometimes take on too much for others. They have this deep need to feel useful, which can lead to burnout if they're not careful. Setting boundaries and learning to say no is key for them to maintain balance. But at the end of the day, Cancer in the sixth house is all about emotional service. They find purpose in caring for others, but they also need to remember to take care of themselves. Well, that's it for Cancer in the sixth. If you have this placement or know someone with this placement, write me a comment below and let me know how the general energy plays out for you. All right, let's get into Cancer in the seventh house, which is all about relationships, partnerships, and one-on-one connections. With Cancer here, emotional bonds are absolutely everything. These people are not interested in surface level connections. They want deep connections that involve trust and a sense of safety in all of their relationships. In romantic partnerships, they are incredibly caring and loyal. They do whatever it takes to make their partner feel loved and absolutely supported. But here's the thing. They need exactly the same level of care in return. And if they feel emotionally neglected or unappreciated, they can become quite withdrawn or, in classic Cancer style, be a little bit passive aggressive. This placement also makes them super intuitive in relationships. They're the type who can sense if something is off, even without a word being spoken. While this is a gift, it can also lead to overthinking and assuming the absolute worst if their partner isn't as emotionally expressive as they are. Beyond romance, Cancer in the seventh also influences business partnerships and close friendships. They want to work with people who they feel like family, trustworthy, supportive, and emotionally in sync. So ultimately, this placement is all about creating partnerships that feel like a safe haven. When they find that emotional balance, they can build relationships that are not only strong, but are deeply fulfilling. If you have Cancer in the seventh house or know of someone that has Cancer in the seventh house, write me a comment below and let me know how this energy plays out in your work. Okay, so let's talk about Cancer in the eighth house. This is the house that's all about deep transformation, intimacy, and shared resources. With Cancer here, emotions are a key component in their growth. This isn't surface level stuff. We're talking about big depths of emotion and big changes, the kind of inner work that reshapes a person. People with Cancer in the eighth house tend to experience profound emotional connections. They crave intimacy that goes above and beyond the physical. They want to feel emotionally safe and truly understood by their partner. They are incredibly nurturing in close relationships, but this also means that they need a lot of emotional security back in return. Trust is absolutely everything for them. This placement often makes someone deeply intuitive, especially when it comes to understanding other people's emotions. They may have a knack for sensing what beneath the surface, which can make them excellent at offering support during difficult times. However, it also means that they can take on other people's emotional baggage if they are not careful. The eighth house also deals with themes like shared finances and inheritances, and Cancer's energy here can make them feel emotionally tied to these things. They might have a strong sense of responsibility when it comes to managing shared resources, especially if it benefits them or their loved ones. On the shadow side, this placement can lead to holding on to past emotional pain. Cancer's natural tendency to cling, combined with the eighth house themes of transformation, means that they struggle with letting go of relationships or situations that no longer serve them. So ultimately, Cancer's eighth house placement is all about emotional transformation. By embracing their intuition and facing their emotional needs head on, they can turn even the most challenging experiences into opportunities for growth and ultimate healing. If you have Cancer in the eighth or know of anybody that has Cancer in the eighth, drop me a line below and let me know how this energy plays out in your life. Let's discuss Cancer in the ninth house, which rules over higher learning, travel, and personal beliefs. With Cancer here, emotion play a big role in how these people explore the world, both literally and figuratively. People with this placement often have a deep emotional connection to their beliefs and philosophies. They don't just adopt ideas intellectually, they want to feel those ideas resonate on a deep, soulful level. Whether it's spirituality, religion, or a personal moral code, their beliefs reflect their desire for emotional security and connection. So when it comes to travel, Cancer in the ninth house makes them crave experiences that feel meaningful and nurturing. They're not just the type of person to hop on a plane and party for the weekend. They want to visit places that feel like home or connected to their roots. A trip to explore family history or to learn about a culture with deep emotional resonance may just do it for them. This is their kind of adventure. This placement also influences their general approach to learning. They absorb knowledge at their best when it ties to them emotionally. For example, they may excel in fields like history, psychology, philosophy, or understanding human emotion and experiences on a deeper level. So, on the flip side, Cancer in the ninth house can make them feel hesitant to step outside their comfort zone. So, they may cling to familiar beliefs or avoid experiences that feel emotionally too risky. But when they do venture out, they often discover a deep sense of emotional fulfillment and personal growth. So, at its core, Cancer in the ninth house is all about exploring the world and expanding their horizons in ways that nourish them and nourishes their heart and their soul. If you have Cancer in the ninth or know of someone that has Cancer in the ninth, write me a comment below and let me know how this energy plays out for you. Okay, so we're now into Cancer in the 10th house, which is all about career, public image, and long-term goals. With Cancer here, emotions and intuition play a massive role in how these individuals navigate their professional life and reputation. People with this placement often feel a strong sense of responsibility to nurture and support others in their career. They may gravitate towards roles that they can care for others, like teaching, healthcare, or even social work. Even in less nurturing fields, they bring a sense of empathy and emotional intelligence to their work. Their public image is often tied to the ability to create a sense of safety and ultimate connection. Think of them as the mom friend of the professional circle, always checking in and making sure that everyone is okay by creating a supportive and structured environment. On the shadow side, Cancer in the 10th house can make someone feel overly concerned with how they are perceived. They may feel a lot of pressure to appear perfect or to take on responsibilities that aren't really theirs. Balancing their own needs with their public role is a key lesson here. At their best, Cancer in the 10th house people lead with their heart, creating a professional life that is both meaningful and emotionally fulfilling. So, if you have Cancer in the 10th house or know of someone that has Cancer in the 10th house, drop me a line below and let me know how this energy plays out for you. Okay, so let's move on to Cancer in the 11th house, which focuses on friendship, groups, and long-term dreams. With Cancer here, these individuals approach their social life and goals with a deeply emotional lens. They naturally take on the nurturing role, ensuring everyone feels safe and included and even cared for. Their intuition helps them sense what their friends or community need, and they are often the glue that hold the group together. When it comes to long-term dreams, their goals are often tied to creating emotional security for themselves and everyone around them, whether it's through community projects, social work, or even personal achievements. They aim to make a difference and a positive impact on the world. However, Cancer in the 11th house can lead to emotional overinvestment in friendships. If they feel unappreciated, excluded, they may retreat into their shells or hold on to past hurts. Learning to balance their emotional energy and set boundaries is absolutely crucial for them. At its core, Cancer in the 11th house is all about building communities and pursuing dreams that nourish their soul and people around them. If you have Cancer the 11th or know of anyone that has Cancer the 11th, drop me a line below and let me know how this energy plays out in your life. Finally, with our Cancer in the 12th house, the house of the subconscious, spirituality, and hidden emotions. The deeply introspective placement where emotions run beneath the surface. People with Cancer in the 12th house often feel their emotions intensely, but may struggle to express them outwardly. They have a rich inner world and a strong connection to their intuition, but they may keep their feelings hidden out of fear of being misunderstood or feeling ultra vulnerable. This placement often gives them a natural empathy for others. They deeply tune to the emotions of those around them, even if they don't realize it. This makes them excellent as offering quiet and behind the scenes support. On the shadow side, Cancer in the 12th house can lead to emotional repression or feelings of isolation. They may carry their subconscious fear tied to their past, family, or early experiences, and part of their journey is learning to bring these emotions to light. At best, this placement is all about embracing their emotional depth and using it to connect with themselves and the world around them in an absolutely profound way. It's all about finding peace in their inner world and allowing their intuition to guide them. If you have Cancer in the 12th or know of anyone that has Cancer in the 12th, drop me a line below and let me know how this energy plays out for you. So that's a wrap on Cancer, the zodiac's emotional powerhouse. From their nurturing instincts to their deep emotional abilities, Cancers remind us of the beauty and strength in feeling so deeply. They're the caregivers, the protectors, and the one who make us feel truly seen and supported.